So here we are again, post-update, in the warm, fuzzy glow of new content and back to immediately wanting more new content like a child whose Christmas pony just isn't quite cool enough. Where are the lasers? I was promised lasers, mother. But it's important that we keep moving forward, and if the suggestions are true that Jurassic World Evolution 2 has at least 4 more DLC packs on the way, and if that's true, there's likely at least also 4 more free updates on the way, and those updates have to contain stuff. We love stuff, so what stuff is that likely to be, and what do I and what do you want to see in those updates? It's worth mentioning as always that Frontier have really been bringing it with the free updates as is, and Update 6 added 2 long requested features for me personally in both 2 fantastic new attractions and the return of my beloved slow motion mode. Couple that with the free zipline we got late last year, and suddenly we've got 3 brand new attractions, and the area of the game is looking a whole lot rosier. That doesn't mean there's not room for improvement, however, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Let me know what areas you want to see improvement in the comment section down below. Do you have any that haven't made it onto my list? Do let me know, and let's get started. And first up on the list is new attractions. Cough. Awkward. Look, the new attractions we have are fantastic, and in terms of typical terrestrial attractions, I am now satisfied with both the quality and quantity we have. But there are 2 glaring areas of omission for me. Number 1 is the lack of helicopter tour or balloon tour, or being fired out of a cannon tour, I suppose. Not only is the balloon tour a JPOG classic, but helicopter sightseeing was a facet in several Jurassic franchise films. It just fits the franchise really well, and it would again be something different than what we've got in game already. It's another tour vehicle, but it would require new mechanics, it would keep your guests safe, and it would be the best way yet to view both terrestrial and lagoon creatures. Which brings me to point 2, those poor lagoons. They were updated with the brilliant decoration update, but they still feel lacking compared to the aviaries and standard enclosures. A submarine tour, or a shark tunnel-esque thing, or even just tweaking the viewing dome so we can work underwater would both be huge for them from a design and interest standpoint. I suspect the reason this hasn't happened is because it would require AI changes in the pathing etc. of the marine reptiles. Speculation, but there's no reason they'd be designed to avoid objects like submarines or to interact with them and attack them because, well, they don't have anything to interact with in the first place, you know? So maybe this flat out isn't going to be possible. But still, if there's more attractions to come, either the skies or the seas would be my next target, which sounds like I'm now probably on a list somewhere. P.S. River tour please, thanks. Speaking of lagoons, the animals themselves also need a little bit of love. Again, they were updated with the breakout animation, which was definitely appreciated, but they still feel a little lifeless compared to the rest, and even the pterosaurs could do with some personality to bring them up to par with our dinosaurs. There's a few primary problems here. Neither of them have social behaviours or ambient behaviours, which means they spend their time flapping or swimming around, doing basically nothing unless they're eating or trying to murder each other. I'm sure socials are really hard to integrate for these, given the freeform movement again, but ambient behaviours at least are done solo. They're my favourite behaviours, cough, joke, cough, and could possibly be integrated. Pterosaurs have their own further unique problems, both in weird dietary choices. Why can't Dimorphodon use the new insect feeder, for example? Okay, I know it's DLC only, but I don't think it should be. And look, I know this isn't likely to change, but God, do I wish the pterosaurs could walk around on the ground. It was sort of okay initially, I could kind of get over it, but Quetzalcoatlus is renowned as a terrestrial predator. It would have spent the vast majority of its time walking around on terra firma, and it's a huge shame to me that instead it flaps around and lands like the rest of them. Another point that was actually addressed in the last update, but still in my opinion needs tweaking, is the Sauropod Combat. They've toughened these sauropods up now. They're much less likely to be killed by a small pack of, say, raptors, and they don't bleed out nearly as often. I've still got 2 points of contention though. The first is I don't think all pack hunters should be targeting all sauropods. I'd love to see it change based on the size of the prey in particular. Want to hunt an Amargasaurus? Live the dream. But a few raptors trying to take down a full-size Brachiosaurus, it just doesn't make sense. Hell, you could even let them do it, include it, but only if they're absolutely starving to death. It should be a last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Secondly, it'd be great if the sauropods could do something in return. Goats do a better job protecting themselves from pack hunts than a Brachiosaurus does at the moment. A stomp or shake animation that can damage the pack hunters would make them feel more like these titanic behemoths that they actually were, and less like giant fleshy punching bags, which is hot but not appropriate for a sauropod. As the game has gone on, we've got many more decorations. I don't really ask for them anymore. It's infinitely better than it ever was in the past, and I hope they keep getting added, but it isn't the priority it once was for me personally. Though we still need individual bins, benches, vending machines, etc. Anyways, going to shift tact now from that and suggest that what the parks need aesthetically more than anything else is new path and fence designs. We still only have 3 colours of path, and it really limits your design choices dramatically. Imagine the work Evo would do with just a handful more path variants, for crying out loud. Likewise, the fences, whilst quite varied if you do have mixed eras, they haven't really been given any love other than that first Dominion update. I'd have loved one that integrates the Malta sandstone-esque texture, for example. I'd love a short one, or a glass one, maybe a concrete one with viewing windows, or an overgrown, vine-strewn, destroyed-looking one. Lots of options here from both a utility and aesthetic perspective. Weirdly enough, this might be the most important thing for me now personally in terms of improving the park building experience. Mambo number 5 is mixed terrain brushes. Lots of praise were answered last time around with the addition of mixed foliage. Thanks, Papa Frontier. But this is the next logical step. Even if we can't get access to every terrain brush on every level, and I suspect it would be a next-gen only sort of deal, having just 3 to 4 specific extra ones, the snow one in particular, would give us a lot more variety in our exhibit designs and let us build themed areas to match the new foliage varieties we've been given. I think there's probably bottlenecks involved here as well, and Frontier are probably, understandably, concerned about adding too many new things that are new gen only. But if it's possible at all, it would be a boon for many of us, and I love a boon, it's a great word. Now, it's hard to do a video like this and not talk about potential new species. I do see some comments from people who still feel this is vitally important, and it is. I do think a pack without species would never sell at all, but it's certainly not the most important thing for me anymore by a long stretch. We've got a really nice variety in the game. What I would like to see continued in these new packs, however, is this new focus on variety. The creatures in the feathered species pack, Jeholopterus and Dinokairos in particular, are like nothing else we have in the game. They add a huge dose of variety to our parks, and more species like this would be appreciated. We could do with a new Ceratopsid. Have we had a new Ceratopsid other than Pachyrhinosaurus? I don't think so. I'd love to see a large, fully feathered, aggressive raptor, like a Utah raptor. I'd love a larger Oviraptorid. Maybe a weird little lad in there, like a Pegomastax. And of course, Chonk Dunk. Where is my Chonk Dunk? And P.S., where the hell is Microceratus? This is getting weird now. Where is Microceratus? This final idea is a little bit of a stretch and absolutely stolen from Reddit, but I loved it, so here we go. Expanded first-person camera. The first-person camera was a fantastic update, of course. I use it all the time. It lets you experience your park as a guest and really soak in both the majesty and horror of your creations, which is sort of what Jurassic is to me, really. But you are, at the end of the day, a lifeless, floating, bodiless camera. If it could work as kind of a halfway between the current iteration and the old Tegid cam for Planet Zoo, where you actually inhabit the body of a guest, where you can look down and see your arms and legs, etc., that would do so much to ground the experience. I know you're probably never going to control an evolution to existing guests because they're like a weird algorithm kind of thing. I don't think they actually exist still. But, you know, you can always just have it so that when you hop into first person mode, it automatically adds a new body around you kind of thing. Humongous bonus points if that means you can be eaten by the dinosaurs. You'd have to be locked into an animation, of course, at some point. But I just think being able to be hunted down and swallowed whole by the dinosaurs in our park, or torn apart by a rampaging Quetzalcoatlus, it would be super exciting. I do not have a boar fetish. I just think it would be cool, okay? Leave me alone. And that's it for my idea list. It gets shorter every time. There's more possibilities, of course. I saw some nice suggestions. If baby dinosaurs aren't ever going to make it into the game, P.S. Baby dinosaurs aren't ever making it into the game. How about including them as part of a static petting zoo decoration a la the exhibits from Planet Zoo? It would fit as well with what they were used for in Jurassic World. Integrating small creature enclosures as well for tiny prehistoric animals like insects, etc. would be really cool. Imagine having like a little glass case with a Meganeura flying back and forth. I'd love that. Generally speaking though, Evolution 2 is getting closer and closer to fulfilling its entirety of its potential. Let me know what you'd want to see from this list, and most importantly what you would add to it as well. Frontier is very good at listening to what the community wants, so make your voices heard in a, as always, nice and constructive way. Throw me a like if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you lovely folks very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Cheers, much love, as always. Bye-bye.
Houston, if you're ready, we'll maneuver. Reaching out.